Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome back to Love Talks. I'm your host, Ina Love, and as always, I'm delighted to have you. We are continuing our series on opening the heart. We've been doing Love Talks for 18 weeks now, believe it or not. So we are just moving right along. And today we're going to continue with this series and just continue to allow love talks to just open and flourish. um, I've shared, well, excuse me, before I get to that, I always like to begin by saying, if you are new to Love Talks and you've missed any of the previous segments, you can find all of them here on my Facebook page, also at Ina Love Poetry. That is my YouTube channel, or my website, somethingaboutlove.foundation.org. For anyone who might want to, fill in any of the segments that you may have missed. So we've covered a lot of information on Love Talks. And as I said, now we are on the opening the heart. And today well, this is actually the third segment in this series. So we're going to continue to dive into this segment. And just, to kind of build this to where we're going, as I said, we've covered a lot of information. We've done several segments on healing the heart. And, we've really talked about the importance of healing the heart, why that's so important. Because so many of us don't realize that we're still holding on to things, experiences that we've had in our life, throughout our life, that we may still be holding on to. And it is so vital to heal those things. And a lot of the healing work comes through forgiveness. But, we need to heal these things so that we're able to clear the space to open our hearts even wider. Because everything that we hold on to is, basically occupying the space for us to not only receive the things that we want in life, but also, as I said, it's like a block. It prevents us from truly opening our hearts. So the healing work is really vital and important. And I wanted to also share on that point, if you're wondering, do you still have more to heal? Absolutely. Because we all do, myself included. We have a lifetime of healing to do. If there is any person or perhaps, some experience that you've had in your life that you still have some negative attachment to, for instance, if there's a person that you think of, or if you see that person and it brings up any kind of negative feelings, there is more healing work there to be done. So just something to be aware of. So again, we've talked a lot about healing, and we need to continue to do that work. We've also talked about the importance of living for God, and really establishing that bond and the connection with God, the source, from which all things come. So it's so important to have that bond and that connection. I like to refer to it as a friendship. To really get to know God, because so many of us believe in God, but we're actually working on learning to love God and release the fear that we have been taught to believe. We've heard many times. I hear people say, I have the fear of God. And, actually, I don't agree with that, because God is pure love. So, I say that I have a love for God. I don't fear God by any means. So again, we want to continue to work on establishing that relationship and the connection with God. Again, the source from, that we receive everything, all of our blessings, the love that we're wanting, everything comes through source. So we need to be aware of that and build that relationship. Also, learning to love ourselves, which is, equally important. Actually, I like to say they're basically one and the same. In loving God, we are loving ourselves. When we love ourselves, we are loving God. So We really need to work on learning to love ourselves, in order to have the relationships that we're wanting. And, it's all like a building process. We learn to love God, we learn to love ourselves, and ultimately we learn to love one another. So, that's really the goal here, and or the end game, if you will. That's where, what we're working to do. We're working to heal so that we can all begin to see that, we truly are in this lifetime together, and we are here to heal and grow together. So, with all of that being said, today we're going to continue with the series on opening the heart, which is such a beautiful thing. But again, it's, anything that we're holding is what is in the way of us, opening our hearts completely, because we've all been hurt. We've all been through things in life, and those things cause us to put up our walls. They are blocks, and we need to be, find those blocks, find all the things that are in the way. And, basically we have to make peace with those things. We have to forgive them, and we have to let them go. So the heart is actually our connection to God. The heart is the place where love resides. So, the heart is such, probably, no, I would say is the most vital, part of our being. The heart is, not only does it, the importance of the heart, but in terms of, like I said, what we are here to do and who we are here to be in life, the heart is such a beautiful, beautiful part of who we are. If you have ever had any type of heart problems, and believe me, I'm not pointing fingers here, which that's never my intention. My goal is just to make you aware, but there is a deeper meaning to everything. So if you've ever had any heart issues, or perhaps you know of someone who has heart issues or has had heart issues, there's actually an underlying meaning there, more than the obvious. Like, a doctor may say you have, an irregular heartbeat, or heart murmur, or, heart valve problems, or, the many heart diseases and issues that we have with our heart. But the underlying issue there is truly, on a spiritual, deeper level, is a need to heal the heart. So, and I wanted to share that because, when I talk about healing the heart, I want you to realize truly how important that is. And again, it's a matter of being aware, because, we as human beings, we have a way of, masking or pushing aside, or even suppressing things that we don't want to face or deal with, or, even admit to ourselves. But again, like I said, we all have healing to do. If our hearts were truly healed and open, we would know and have at our use the type of love that Jesus had. Jesus loved with an absolutely, completely wide open heart. And until we get to a place where our heart is completely open, we still have healing work to do. So again, I say that, we all have this work to do. So just, a little something that might spark something for you to help you realize that, yes, there are things that still need to be healed, because our, part of this work is, like I said, to really discover what those things are, so we can give that some focused attention to heal it and let it go. So, everything that I've shared in these Love Talk segments is all about you. I don't really talk a lot about, other people that you are in relationships with, or, not so much about other people in general. I'm speaking to each of you who are listening, everyone who's watching Love Talks. And all because everything that I'm shared is designed to help you to live your best life, to grow into who you came here to be, to heal, to learn to love, like all the things that we are here to do. I'm just here to plant these seeds, to give you something to think about, our work that we have to do on ourselves, aside from living our lives and working our jobs and all the things that we do each day, we have to do our own inner work. And, that work is what truly helps us to align not only with our purpose, our gifts and talents, the reason that we're here, um, the things that we came here to do, like all of that is important. So again, everything that I'm sharing and have shared is all specifically designed for you. This is something for you. Everything is for you to take on personally. Now, of course, anything that I've shared that you might find helpful, I encourage and I hope that you will share that with anyone who you find might be able to benefit from anything that I've shared, because actually, that's part of the reasons why I do Love Talks. I've done a lot of spiritual work. I've spent a lot of time seeking answers and understanding and many things. So, I really feel that I'm in a good place in my life. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Like I said, I have my healing work to do as well, but I want to share what I've learned, so that we can all heal and learn and grow. So, opening the heart is actually, like I said, our direct path to God, and is the very thing that is going to help us to align with all the things that we're wanting in life. All the things that we pray for, our hopes, our dreams, our, aspirations, our goal, all of those things come truly through our connection with God. And the more your heart is open, the more you are open to receive these things. So, again, I'm just sharing that to help you to really grasp the, the importance of these concepts and ideas, the ideas and principles that I'm sharing. So, I did a post on Facebook a couple of nights ago, and I was basically talking about, what is my purpose here in life? And I actually shared on Facebook, on one of my Love Talk segments recently, I said that, love is my purpose. Love is the thing that matters most to me in this lifetime. Like, truly it is. And I've shared here that, my purpose is to teach the world to love. Well, in this past week, as I was preparing for this segment today, I realized, I actually took that a step further. And it just absolutely, like, something clicked for me. And I said, well, actually, I want to teach the world to love God, because God is the reason that we are here. Everything comes through God. So it actually makes sense that if, not only if we learn to love ourselves and we learn to love God, we are open to receive all of those things. And I just had a thought that I wanted to share there, and it kind of slipped my mind, but it always comes back. So I'm just going to continue here. But as I said oh, yes, of course it did. We all believe in God. Hopefully, we all truly believe in God. But learning to love God is actually a deeper level to that. And, that's truly what we want to do. It's beautiful to believe in God. Some people don't. And we're not here to judge. We're all here, learning and growing and trying to find our way. But to absolutely love God is so beautiful and powerful. So I just, again, planting those seeds that, not only do we want to believe, we want to open our hearts and allow ourselves, to love God in the same way that God loves us. We need to love ourselves, love God, and again, ultimately one another. I truly believe that when I learned to love God is when I truly found the joy of living. That there was some connection there that when I opened my heart to God is when I truly found joy in living, because no matter what is going on in my life, I can always, just go back. That's for me, that's like going back to the beginning. Like, no matter what is going on, I have, my faith in God and the love that I have for God, is something that I can always hold on and stand on, because, I know that God is there. We all know this. We pray to God. We go to God in our times, when we're going through things in life. But again, the reason for establishing that bond and that connection is that when we go to God, we want to be, justified in the things that we are asking for. Just you wouldn't go to a stranger saying, hey, fix my life, if you don't know that person. Well, it's really, if you think about it, it's the same with God. So you want to work each and every day to build and establish that bond, that connection, and allow your heart to open to God. Because, let's face it, it's really hard to trust people, these days. I mean, I'm speaking that in a general sense. But it is really hard to trust people. We all see what's going on in the world, but God is the one person, the one being, that you truly can trust. So when you're praying or meditating, or, just in your quiet time when you're with God, allow yourself to really just drop your guard, drop your walls, allow yourself to be vulnerable and just be open to loving God, because God truly loves you and wants you to receive that love. Let's see. So, not just something that I just realized is that, well, I didn't just realize that, I realized this to share for the segment, but in 2013, I changed my last name to Love. And at the time, I did not realize that I would be writing a poetry. Well, actually, I had already started writing poetry, but I didn't realize that I would be publishing a book of poetry or working on a mission of love, or just everything that is now evolving in my life. But I realized, how significant that event, which happened in 2013, how significant it would become in the role that I'm playing in my life today. And I shared that to say, sometimes we don't really understand why things are happening in our lives, because, like in my case, in 2013, when I changed my name, I was really going through a lot of things. And at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. But I had no idea that it would perfectly align with, something that I would be doing 7 years later. So, again, the point of this being, we don't always understand why things are happening in our lives. But, if we just truly trust that God knows best, that, things truly are working for good, even when we don't see that or understand it. It's really hard to see that, something good can be happening when you're in the midst of a difficult situation. But as I said, that all came full circle for me. So I just wanted to share that, just something to keep in mind. So, as I said, love truly is the way to God. So, we want to just take a little time each day, if you can. If you can, just take a little time to allow yourself to just be still and open your heart. You have to think of something or someone, that can help you to get to that place, because, typically we don't just walk around feeling the energy or the presence of love at all times. But there is typically someone or something, or even, maybe it's like a memory of, a time in your life, or, something that takes you back to that place of feeling love in your heart. So get in the practice of going to that place in your heart, especially like, when you're in your prayers or your meditation or when you're talking to God. It is so beautiful, to connect with God with an open heart. So, and the more you do this, which is why I'm suggesting that you do it each day, the more you do it, it gets easier and easier to keep your heart open. And ideally, that is where we want to live our lives. And that's the space we want to live our lives, with an open heart. And when you're truly walking through this life with God, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to worry, because, God is your shield and your sword. So, walk through life open hearted, very lovingly, and know that you are protected. There's nothing to fear. Like, we all have discernment. We all really, when we get still, we always know the truth. The key is just to learn to listen to ourselves and really pay attention. So, but we want to open our heart. It's the most beautiful thing you can do. It's the most amazing way to live your life. Let's see. I really thought this was really interesting. Something else that I wanted to share. There have been 4 situations or circumstances in my life where I've had the opportunity to be present for someone who was contemplating suicide. And, it was really interesting to me the very first time that it happened, that, I wasn't afraid. It wasn't like a panic situation. I was able to just really open my heart and be present for that person. Because at the end of the day, I think what we all truly need and want is just to know that someone cares, that someone truly cares. And I was just able to, speak to these people. They were actually all, well, 3 of them were friends of mine. One used to be a friend. I mean, and I'm not at all making light of the situation by any means, but it was very beautiful to be present for someone in that situation. Um, so, I shared this because, being open hearted really just brings you to a space where you can be present for someone. And it was truly as if I just knew what to say, I just knew what to share. And, one thing that I realized that I'm, always very much aware of is that God's love is enough. Like, we're all so busy looking for love outside of ourselves, but truly, we have the love that we're seeking and that we're wanting. In loving ourselves, in knowing that God loves us, that love is ever present and always available and all around. Truly, that is the greatest love of all. So, if you've ever told yourself that, or thought in your life that no one loved you, I want you to know that that is absolutely not true. You are absolutely loved. And, you know, sometimes we really need to remind ourselves and come back to the truth, of the love that we truly have, which is the greatest love of all, and that is the love of God. So not only do we want to be aware of that and receive that love, we want to be open to receive that and also to give that love to ourselves and to one another. I try to love myself the way that, I would want someone to love me. Like when I think of myself, I think of myself very lovingly. So, we have to really, give that focus, time, and attention to just being with ourselves and, allow yourself to love yourself, because that's a really beautiful thing to do. And I wanted to share also in those 4 situations where I was there for someone who was going through that, really serious experience. One of those experiences was actually with a person who had tried to scam me. Actually, this guy that I knew I tried to help. He was actually scamming me, and by the grace of God, I found out the truth, and of course, severed connections with him. But years went by, and he reached out to me and said to me that ever since that happened, his life had just gone on a downward spiral, and he was reaching out to me, saying that he was at the point that he was ready to take his life. And I was just really there for this man. Like, there was no thought of what had happened or why that happened. Like, that didn't even come into play. It was just a person who needed help, and I was there for him, and it was a beautiful thing. And this man literally broke down. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever heard a person cry like that in my life, because he realized how close he had come to wanting to take his life. And he said the fact that I would be there for him after what he had done, it was as if a light came on. And he said that he was going to turn his life around, and he was going to be a better person. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, we're not friends. He still says hello from time to time, but I'm human. So, and anyways, but it was beautiful to just to be there, um, like I said, in those situations. So the information that I'm sharing in Love Talks, I really want you to take this information to heart, because love is a superpower. It truly is. It is an amazing gift that we all have. And I think too often we really take it for granted. We don't really give love the time and attention that it needs or deserves. um, so I just really want you to know, the value and the importance of this gift that you have, to be able to, like I said, not only love God, love yourself, but ultimately one another. And love is the power that creates everything that you're wanting in your life. So really just, give it some time, some attention, just to be still and be present in a space of love, just allowing yourself to just feel the presence of love, because you truly can feel it. You can feel which is the presence of God. Truly, they're one and the same. Whether I say God or whether I say love, it's they are one and the same, in my mind and in my heart. But but you can feel it. If you just get still and allow yourself to just be open and vulnerable, you can feel the presence of love, and it's a beautiful thing. Um, so I wanted to just talk about the Bible for just a minute, because in one of the previous Love Talk segments, um, someone made a comment that, that the Bible is what we all need. And, the Bible is, what I call the holy book. It's a beautiful tool, a guide, a resource to help us get through this life. And I know that many people have never completely read the Bible. And, honestly, I will admit to you that I have never read the Bible cover to cover. I've started many, many times, but I spent probably the first 20 years of my life in Bible study, in Sunday school and things of that nature. So believe me, throughout the course of my life, I've gone through the Bible many, many times. But, it is my goal to do that someday. But I wanted to say that the Bible is just such a beautiful tool and resource that we have. And, sometimes if you're going through something, just keep the Bible nearby, like, maybe even on your nightstand, because everything has energy. So, just to have the energy of those words nearby is a beautiful thing. Also, you can use the Bible, like, and I've done this many times, and you will well, it's always surprised me, but like I could literally hold the Bible, say a prayer, ask for an answer to, a situation that I'm going through. And, just kind of allow the book to fall open, or just, like you'll just know where to open the book and read. And more than likely, you will, if you truly do this sincerely from your heart, you can find the answers that you want. Just, I mean, it might seem random, but nothing is random. Nothing is by coincidence. So if you do this sincerely, you can get the answers that you want from the Bible. I also like to say that, you know, I read the Bible with discernment because, it is a beautiful holy book, and I have so much love and respect for the Bible. But there is also information in the Bible that I don't agree with. The Bible speaks of slavery, which I absolutely do not agree with slavery. The Bible speaks of, being obedient to your husband. Well, I think we are all equal. So, you know, um, we have to use our own interpretation in everything that we receive. But it truly is a beautiful resource to have near. And like I said, it can actually be, like a guidebook through life if you are seeking answers. So just a beautiful resource. Um, let's see. So love is a very sacred gift. As I said, it's the most beautiful gift that we, all have. And it is ours to use or misuse. What we see happening in the world today is actually the misuse of love. And we have all experienced this. We've all been through, bad relationships, or, someone who wronged you in some way, or, we've all been through many things. And that is the misuse of love. But we all have this gift to use. We have to use it in the right way. And that happens when we are aware. We have to really be conscious and present in the choices that we're making. And, as I said, use love in the right action of love. So, we have the choice. Love is ours to use or misuse. You don't want to misuse love. It's a beautiful gift. Allow yourself to be open, to speak from the heart, to be kind and compassionate, and, all the things that are of love. That is the right action of love. Also, it is yours to give or not. Again, we all have the gift of love available to us. Well, we get to decide if we give that gift or not. And, it's not only something that we give or should only give to, our family and our friends and our loved ones and the people that are closest to us. We should truly have love for everyone and everything, because, love is this unconditional gift that we have. And, obviously, we're not going to love everyone the same, but we do need to be open to love everyone in some way. So, just again, always being aware of these things, so when you pray for the world, which I've asked that before, that we start to give some focused attention on praying to heal the world. We need to send that love that we have, that endless supply of love. Send that love like you're fanning a flame. Imagine that, you just tap into your heart and just imagine that energy just expanding and expanding and releasing that out into the world. So you want to give love, give love to God, give love to yourself, give love to everything. Everything wants to be loved and appreciated. And, we need to start thinking in this way. Love is also ours to receive or not. Um, we've probably all, I'm sure that we've all had situations where someone may have wanted to love you, like to offer you a relationship, perhaps. And, maybe you were not interested in that person. So therefore, you may have just like cut them off and not received that love. Well, I think that anyone who comes to you with an offer of a relationship, has some interest. It may not be something that you're interested in, but they are offering you something. They see something in you. And, I think that's something that we really need to kind of be aware of and be open to that. Now, I'm not by any means saying, yes, give every relationship a chance. No, not by any means. But I want to share a couple of experiences that I've had because these turned out to be just something really beautiful. Um, about 5 years ago, I was in Colombia and I was actually on a tour going to visit the salt mines of Colombia, which was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life. But I was on this tour bus on the way to see this salt mine. And I was sitting next to a man, and we were having, just a very nice conversation. And by the time we arrived to where we were going, this man basically professed his love to me and told me that he thought I was his soulmate and he wanted to spend his life with me and, this kind of thing. And, I didn't see that. I didn't see that in him. And, I wasn't interested in his offer, but I truly appreciated the fact that he saw that in me. And, and I thanked him. I said, I think that's very beautiful that you see that and you want that with me, but I don't see that. So, basically that's not an option. That's not going to happen. But it was in such a beautiful exchange. By the time the day was over and we were, on the tour bus back from the trip, um, before we said goodbye, this man gave me a gift. And he said that it was something his father had given to him, something that, he kept in his pocket every single day. And it was a little thing, but it was so meaningful because it was meaningful to him. And it was my openness to his offer of love, that made him want to share that special gift with me. So I'm saying that just to say, again, love is a beautiful gift. And we don't ever want to um, come harshly at someone who is coming to you with an offer of love. We can kindly say to someone, thank you, but I'm not interested. And, that's basically what happened. And like I said, something really beautiful came from that. And honestly, I'm not tooting my horn here, but this has actually happened to me many times. And I could literally tell you several stories, but I had another situation, and I'm going to share this because I think it's really funny, but it's also a great story. I was on a flight once, and there was a guy sitting across the aisle from me, and I stood up to get something from the overhead, and this guy, like, he was like right up next to me, and he said to me, "The Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want." And I was like, "Oh, wow." I said, "Well, that's a great line." Like, I mean, I thought that was an amazing pickup line. I said, "Well, how many times have you used that line?" And he goes, "Only once." Who knows if that were true? But he said that his father told him if he ever saw the woman of his dreams, that is what he should say to her. "The Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want." So honestly, I was like, wow, that was an amazing pickup line, right? So, on this flight, this man continues to talk to me, and he kept trying to convince me to let him. I forgot where he lived. I was on my way home to LA, but he wanted to come to LA to take me out to dinner. And I said, "No, there's no point in that because, this isn't going anywhere. And, thank you." Like, I was very gracious to him. But long story short, he continued and continued, he kept trying. And finally, he said, well, what if I stay the night in LA and I take you to church tomorrow? And he was so genuine and sincere that I actually said yes. So I went to church with him the next day and received one of the most beautiful, powerful messages. It was like something that was so, I mean, it was like right on time, something that I really needed to hear at the time. And I thought, if I had not been just a little open, that never would have happened. So, we just never know what is trying to happen. And, we just need to be open. Like, you don't ever have to change who you are. No one is going to force you to be in a relationship, and I'm not saying, run off with every person who approaches you. We use discernment in life, but, but I've had some really beautiful experiences just by being open, to people who, and the, like, honestly, in each of these situations, I knew that this person was really sincere. So it was actually a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share that. Let's see. So ultimately, we want to live our lives for God. Like I said, we are here for God. So we want to live our lives for God in word, in action, and in deed, which means that, through our deeds, which means, in everything we do, we need to put our heart in it. If we all start to live from our hearts, we truly can make a difference in the world. And, it is our individual responsibility, as I love to say, that we are all here to live for God, to do and be the absolute best that we can be in this life. So, I just like to kind of remind you of that. There is a quote that I love, which I have many quotes that I love, but there's a quote that says, to the tranquil heart, the whole universe surrenders. And when I think of a tranquil heart, I think of a heart of love, like a beautiful, open, loving heart, because, God is love. So if we are being love, we are, we are connected to God, to that source. Believe me, God is ever present, but you want to connect to that source. So with a tranquil heart, the whole universe surrenders. And that is absolutely beautiful. And it makes sense. If we are, holding on to all of these negative energies and feelings, you know, it's not as likely that we are going to receive the blessings and the things that we are wanting in life. So again, spend some truly focused and devoted time on healing the heart, opening the heart, and being available to receive. So I do have a poem that I want to share, which this poem is titled "Let's Do This," and I thought this poem would be so appropriate for this segment today because, really, what this whole segment really is about today is, I've said it many times, healing and opening the heart. We want to open our hearts to love God, to love ourselves, and ultimately one another. So this poem is titled, "Let's Do This," because love truly is the answer. There is no doubt or question in my mind that love is the very thing that will heal the world. And, if we want to live in a better world, we're going to have to create a world of love. And it is our responsibility, each of us individually. I can't do it alone. We are here in this lifetime together. So, what I'm sharing, really, take these concepts to heart, give this some focused time and attention, put these concepts in practice in your life. And, if there's something that is working for you, or, something that has really touched you, share that with someone else. Invite other people to, come in and watch the segment. If there's a segment that you really enjoyed, you can put someone's name in the comments, so that, they can watch the segment. We can start to really build this, because I really am doing this because I want to make a difference. In fact, I wanted to show you something, so that I really do put a lot of time, effort, and attention into these love talks. Like, all of this is information. Like, each week I spend a lot of time, preparing for what I want to share. So I just wanted you guys to know that, like, I'm really doing this from my heart. So I would really appreciate, your help to bring other people in. So with all of that being said, as I said, this poem is titled, Let's Do This. Let us all breathe one breath of trust. Hearts filled with love, let's do this, we must. Let our hearts love one and all. Beyond every fear, no act is too small. Let our hearts know truth will prevail. Grant us the courage, love never fails. Let our hearts live completely free, joyously happy, forever to be. Let our hearts believe knowledge is key. Stand in your power, set yourself free. Let our hearts rest, relax, and unwind with full faith and courage and trust in mankind. Let all the world sing together, amen, to heal us all. Let's do this, my friends. So that is, let's do this. And we can, like, we truly can, if we set our attention and our intention on being the best that we can be in this lifetime, we can all make a difference, and it is up to each and every one of us to do that. So I'm going to announce the winner of the book drawing last week. For last week. And this was so interesting. So each week I choose a number and I go through, all the likes and comments on each video. And, I choose that number, whatever person comes up is the winner. Well, the winner again was Tamisa Como, who won 2 books, because like, she won once before and I chose another number and her name came up again. Well, she won again this week. So because she won twice that week, I decided to give 2 books again this week. So I chose the person above her name and below her name. So, but I thought it was really interesting that, not only did her name come up again, but she won twice the other week. So, as I said, there's a deeper meaning in everything. I have no idea what that means, but I thought that was pretty interesting. So the winners this week is Patsy Holland and Elaine Delgado. So congratulations to you both. I'll be sending your book copies to you very soon. And next week, just wanted to let you guys know, I will be traveling next Sunday, and I'm so super excited because my daughter is coming to visit on Tuesday, and I mentioned she lives in Australia. Well, she's coming to visit, and then I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to be meeting all 3 of my kids in Hawaii, in the week of Thanksgiving. So next week, I'm actually going to do, because I travel on Sunday, I'm going to do the Love Talk on Saturday. Of course, you can watch it whenever, but just as an FYI, the Love Talk next week, I'll be doing it actually on Saturday. And we will continue with this series on diving into the heart. We're just going to continue to go deeper in this concept and this topic and continue to heal and open our hearts to love one another. That is truly our goal. So I think that is everything I had to cover with you for this week. As always, I truly appreciate you guys for your time, for taking the time to be here. I really do appreciate it. I don't take your time for granted. So I appreciate you. And I wish you a very safe, healthy, happy week ahead. And until next week, I will see you then. Take care.